Scarlett and Oliver were thrilled to finally move into their new apartment. Apartment 245 was spacious, affordable, and in a charming old building with a rich history. The first few days were filled with the usual hustle of unpacking and settling in. However, it didn't take long for strange occurrences to start disrupting their bliss. The first sign was the noise. It started as a faint, rhythmic tapping, always around midnight. At first, they dismissed it as the natural creaks and groans of the old building, but soon, the tapping grew louder and more persistent, echoing through the walls and into their dreams. One night, unable to sleep, Scarlett decided to investigate. She followed the sound down the dimly lit hallway and found herself standing in front of the door to apartment 241. The door was slightly ajar, a thin sliver of darkness beckoning her inside. Hesitant but curious, she pushed it open and peered into the gloom. The apartment was eerily quiet, filled with an unsettling stillness. As she stepped inside, a chill ran down her spine. The room was covered in a thick layer of dust, as if no one had lived there for years. The furniture was old and worn, and strange symbols were scratched into the walls. On the dining table, she found a stack of photographs, all of the same man, his eyes wide with terror. Scarlett quickly left, the hairs on her neck standing on end. She tried to tell Oliver about her discovery, but he dismissed her concerns, attributing them to stress from the move. However, the eerie occurrences continued. Shadows moved on their own, cold drafts blew through sealed windows, and the tapping never ceased. Determined to uncover the truth, Scarlett did some research on the building. She found out that the previous tenant of apartment 241, a man named Harold, had mysteriously disappeared 6 months ago. No one knew where he went, and his apartment had been left untouched since. Intrigued and horrified, she decided to dig deeper. One evening, Scarlett and Oliver visited the building's basement, hoping to find any clues about Harold's fate. The basement was dark and damp, filled with the scent of mold and decay. They stumbled upon an old storage room, cluttered with forgotten belongings. Among the dusty boxes, they found a journal that belonged to Harold. The journal detailed Harold's descent into madness. He wrote about hearing strange noises, seeing ghostly apparitions, and feeling an ominous presence watching him. The last entry was a frantic scrawl, barely legible. "The door. It's the door. Don't open it." Scarlett and Oliver exchanged worried glances. They decided to return to apartment 241, determined to solve the mystery once and for all. As they entered the apartment again, the air grew colder and the shadows deepened. They followed the symbols on the walls, which seemed to lead them to a locked door at the back of the apartment. Oliver found a rusty key in one of the drawers and, with trembling hands, unlocked the door. It creaked open to reveal a narrow staircase descending into darkness. With a mixture of fear and determination, they descended the steps, their flashlight beams cutting through the thick blackness. At the bottom, they found a small, windowless room. In the center of the room was a large, ornate mirror, its surface tarnished and cracked. As they approached, they saw their reflections, distorted and twisted. The mirror seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, drawing them closer. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, plunging the room into darkness. The air grew heavy, and the temperature dropped. Scarlett felt a presence behind her, and when she turned, she saw the ghostly figure of Harold. His eyes were hollow, his face contorted with pain. "You shouldn't have come here," he whispered, his voice echoing with despair. "The mirror, it's a portal. It took me, and now it will take you." Before they could react, the mirror began to glow with an eerie light. The room filled with a deafening roar, and a powerful force pulled them towards the mirror. They struggled against it, but it was too strong. With a final, terrifying scream, they were sucked into the mirror, their bodies disappearing into the glass. The room fell silent, and the mirror returned to its tarnished state. In the empty apartment, the tapping resumed, louder and more insistent. Days turned into weeks, and Scarlett and Oliver were never seen again. The building's residents whispered about the haunted apartment, the one where people vanished without a trace. Apartment 241 remained empty, its door forever ajar, a sliver of darkness waiting to consume the next unsuspecting victim. And so, the tapping continued, a sinister reminder that some doors should never be opened, and some mysteries are better left unsolved.